I think one of the most heartbreaking things about going to the movies is when you really want to love a movie, but you only end up just liking it. Greetings, my fancy viewers. Welcome back to the channel. And today, I'm going to be talking about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The final film in the Mission Impossible franchise, once again directed by Christopher McQuarrie and stars Tom Cruise, and this takes place right after Dead Reckoning Part 1, where Ethan is on the mission to find the mysterious rogue AI, the Entity, to prevent a nuclear fallout. So this is the first time I'm reviewing a Mission Impossible film on the channel, and so I get to tell you guys what I think about this series before I go into talking about this one. And I love Mission Impossible. I adore this franchise so much. Is it campy and hokey sometimes? Of course, but that's what makes it so great. Filled with amazing action, set pieces, an amazing story in each movie. I even love Mission Impossible 2, a movie that everybody pretty much says is the worst in the series. Me, I love that movie. I don't care what anyone else says. If you hate that movie, give it another watch, because that one's great. Now, when it comes to the newer movies, like say all of them directed by Christopher McQuarrie, I think they're amazing. Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and now with this one, The Final Reckoning, does Christopher McQuarrie have a straight A streak of amazing Mission Impossible movies? Almost. This one is such a hard film to talk about, because on one hand, I like this movie a ton. But on the other hand, I can't help but just not ignore all the glaring issues this one has. So this film is a direct sequel to Dead Reckoning, because Dead Reckoning was a Part 1. I don't know why they didn't name this one Dead Reckoning Part 2, but it's whatever, it doesn't make a huge difference. But surprisingly, Part 1 was better. Like, you rarely hear that in these kind of two-parter movies. Usually Part 1 is known as the weaker one, because it's filled with all the exposition and all the filler to get to the second part, which is filled with all the action and adventure and all the stuff you really want to see. They've done that for Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and now with this one, surprisingly Part 1 was just a lot more tighter in its story. Surprisingly with Part 2, it is filled with all the exposition and gunk you would find in a Part 1. Like, I'm confused of why they had all this random stuff in this part and not the last part. So what do I mean by that? That this film was filled with all the gunk you would find in Part 1. The first third of this film, I'm sorry, is abysmal. It is poorly paced, poorly edited. It is filled with all this jargon of exposition of things that you already know if you're a fan of the series. Now sure, maybe the studio was telling Christopher McQuarrie to maybe add in some scenes to catch the audiences up who are not caught up on this series, but if you're going in to see a two-parter, like, you would think you would see Part 1, but they add in so much filler and exposition of the entire series that the first, 45 minutes of this film drags to a crawl. Like, it is filled with so much jargon and junk where I was getting a little bit bored. In a Mission Impossible movie, that's impossible for me. Like, I never get bored in these films, but this one, the first third is just so poorly executed where I was like, oh no, this is not good. This is kind of scary. Like, what's going on here? And for some reason, the film retcons the previous films to, make it tie into this one. Like, go and see Mission Impossible 3 before you go and see this one, because there's some things in that movie that tie into this one where it retcons a huge part of Mission Impossible 3. And another really weird reveal is that they make this one character that you see in Dead Reckoning Part 1 tie into the first movie, and it adds nothing to the story. It's just in there for 30 seconds of hey, I'm related to this character. Okay, bye. You won't see me again for the last 10 seconds of the movie. Bye now. Why was that in there? You could have added in, maybe a different scene that was important to the story instead of adding in this random, retcon for this character. And the reason why I'm really mad about these scenes being added into the film is not because they retcon the previous ones. You can retcon all you want. It's a hokey series. It's because they do nothing with this one character that I was really wanting them to go deep into, and that's the villain of Gabriel. In the first part of Dead Reckoning, they hint at this guy, Gabriel, who's this mysterious agent or mysterious killer that knows Ethan, and they have this really weird beef with each other. and he's one of the reasons why Ethan joined the IMF to begin with, and you learn nothing about him. Like, I was expecting them to have a huge flashback with this guy and like why he's such an important villain and why he really does tie into Ethan, and they show up this like one same flashback they showed in part 1. I was waiting for them to add more to that flashback, but no. We get nothing of this guy Gabriel at all. He's just a mustache twirling villain that we know nothing about at the end. Like, why? Like, you hinted at this villain in the first part, and yet you do nothing with him in this one. Now, sure, they try and want to make the entity, this AI thing, the main antagonist, but if you're hinting at this guy Gabriel in the first one, and you do nothing with him in this one, why the heck do you even have Gabriel in the story to begin with? I mean, I was just left scratching my head at like why they were retconning the previous films, and yet just throwing away all these subplots that they hinted at in part 1. Like, why? I mean, this really makes me think that I don't think they had a like cohesive narrative fully fleshed out for part 1 and part 2. They wrote part 1, got that done, and it's like, alright, let's work on part 2. They didn't have an actual full-on story for this, and it's really noticeable, unfortunately. Now look, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm bashing this film, but I did have a lot of complaints that I really didn't need to gripe about because it was really messy in that first third in those weird choices, but luckily when the film gets going, it gets going. Now when the film's story isn't focusing on all these like random subplots and things that have nothing to do with, anything, this becomes one of the best Mission Impossible stories in the entire series. The story is so compelling when it's focusing on the AI and this nuclear fallout it's trying to cause because it's such a super relevant topic of AI. I mean, you see AI everywhere now with AI art, AI Google stuff, like AI search things, like AI is everywhere. Like you see AI all over the place and it's scary. And this film shows the dangers of AI. And that's super relevant. I mean, part 1, when that came out, the AI was the villain and I was like, oh man, AI is never gonna get that scary. Now we're here a couple years later and I'm like, oh shoot, AI can get that scary. So this film is super relevant with its story of AI and how dangerous it can be, and I think this is a film that everybody really needs to see to really get that message across of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be relying too much on AI. And this film focusing on how AI is a villain really does show the important message of that human nature is very important. Now right now, I know we are super divided in politics and technology and everything. The world is pretty messed up right now. But this film shows that if we unite together, human nature always wins. And that's an important message. Like, now is not the time for being divided. Now is the time for unity. Especially with these huge corporations trying to take away our jobs with AI and trying to make AI just conquer everything. Now is an important time for us to stand together and rise up and not be divided. Like, again, that's kind of like why I love the story of this film. It's super dark in its themes of nuclear fallout and just people being divided and all this AI taking over, that it's trying to show us the light of human nature, that eventually if we do rise up, we can conquer. But right now, we're just divided and we need to stand up and join forces. Now sure, I know it sounds super hokey and super cheesy, but it's kind of true. I mean, think about it. Notice how AI is literally everywhere. And it's scary. We're living in a scary time right now. And now's the time for unity. Now's the time for standing up. I mean, I don't mean to sound super, cheesy or anything, but this film has an excellent message, and that's why I love its story so much when it's focusing on that. Like, it's so important that we get that message across, and I'm surprised that a Mission Impossible movie, a series known for being hokey and action-packed, is having an important message and story like this. Like, wow. The film really does revolve around the themes of our lives are not defined by one singular action, but by the sum of our choices. And that whole tagline and whole theme is perfectly executed with Ethan Hunt's character. I love Ethan Hunt as a character. I love how he's always there to stand for his friends and always fight for what's right. And this is the best Ethan Hunt has ever been in this film. Like, his character is one of the best characters in any series ever, in my opinion. I love his character so much. And here, they throw all the choices that he's made in the past films and showing how it's affecting him now. And just seeing this character grow from the first film to this film, it's truly astounding. Watching Ethan Hunt be this phenomenally written character and always standing for what's right and always going against the grain and always being there for his friends. This is such a role model character of doing what's right. I freaking love this character, dude. Ethan Hunt is genuinely one of the best characters in the film, in my opinion. And it helps with Tom Cruise's performance. Tom Cruise, once again, gives a phenomenal performance as his character. And, man, you can tell that he has a lot of passion for this series. And it's just great, man. It's just great. But now let's talk about the stuff we love about Mission Impossible. The stunt work and the action. The action here is kind of minimal in how much there is. There's not a whole lot of action, but there's two main set pieces that blew me away. The first one being a submarine scene, and it's absolutely astounding. It is a 20-minute scene with no dialogue, and you're just feeling all the tension and drama and just fear in Ethan as he's trying to get this one thing done in this submarine. And I was holding on to my seat like really tight during that scene and like holding my breath kind of, because you could feel just the tension of being underwater for this huge amount of time. Like, it's a phenomenal scene. It's one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in a movie, period. And I was like, oh my god, they're never going to top this action sequence. But that final action moment during two planes fighting against each other, oh my god. It is honestly one of the greatest action moments I've seen in the past decade. It is truly the best action moment in the entire series. Like, it cannot be beat. Like, the final moment in this film makes this, honestly, one of the best action films I've ever seen. It is truly amazing what they do with the camera work, the stunt work, the cinematography, the lighting, the way the camera moves following the planes. Like, it's absolutely just breathtaking to watch, especially on IMAX. Please, for the love of God, see this on IMAX like Tom Cruise says. Like, please do what he says and go and see this on the biggest screen you can, because, man, it's truly worth it. Like, watching that moment really truly just did, like, make me feel good. Like, made me just realize just why I love this hobby so much and why this is the hobby that I chose to just fall in love with, man. This one scene, this one action moment is just, it's just beautiful, man. It's just beautiful. Guys, I know I had a lot to complain about this film, but I think I had to give it some tough love, because once that first third ends, the film really gets going and it becomes a great entry into the franchise. But those few glaring issues of retconning some of the previous films and not following through with some of the things in part 1, it really does hold this film back quite a bit. But, man, the things that work really do work here. I just think I needed to give it a little bit of tough love because it is the final one in the series. But, man, if this film was really trying to be a great send-off to the series and be a great action film, then I think you can say this film had its mission accomplished. Which is why I would love to bestow upon Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning the gold top hat. You know, maybe later on my opinions will change on this one because I was kind of lukewarm on part 1, but now that one's one of my favorites, so maybe I like this one more in the future. Only time will tell. To all my fancy viewers out there, thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time hearing like we've seen, be sure to subscribe for more content. And have you seen Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And actually, let me know how you would rank the series if you love the series so much. Let me know which one is your favorite, least favorite, and let me know why. And let me know why Mission Impossible 2 is actually a masterpiece. I hope you have a fantastic night, and as always, stay fancy.